and forth conversation. And the countdown begins. Oh, I think I got to get some music on this countdown in the future. I just don't want to get copyrighted. And I am talking, understanding that people can hear me, and I'm okay with it.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm fine with it. I do need to get some music, but I'm worried about I'll get hit with the copyright restrictions, All right. 10, 9, 7, 6, 5.
Yeah. Hey. How's it going?
Oh man, I'm over here in Kentucky. I have a horse behind me, Hope.
I see. I have a cow, so maybe it's planned.
Okay.
Oh, so tell me about Kentucky, Curtis. What's going on in Kentucky?
Yes. Hey, we are doing a live stream from the Campbell House Historic Hotel in Lexington, Kentucky. I'm here for a 2-day training with Big Sandy development team, a workforce team over here, doing a little mix of, 5 different things. We're having a good time. But because Friday's not going to work for our live stream, I didn't want to just completely abandon this for this week. So we said, why not do a remote episode, Hope? So it's me and you. We're here. That's what's happening. How's life treating you, Hope?
Absolutely. It's going well. It's busy. It's going to be a busy week. I'm glad we're still able to get together and come together and talk about some important topics today. And, hey, Wednesday is as good a day as any. So that's okay. We might be able to catch some people tonight that we wouldn't be able to catch on Friday. So.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you're new to the show and the later evening time works better for you, let us know in the comments so we can, figure out what makes the most sense. So far, we tried lunchtime, then we tried a little later in the afternoon, and now it is a Wednesday at 5:30 p.m. on the eastern side. So if you have a preference on the times that you would prefer to consume what you are consuming, then let us know, right, Hope?
And if you happen to catch the replay at a different time, let us know when it came across your feed and you were able to check it out. So that just helps us know really what's the best time to deliver. And it may not be the best time for everybody, but it gives us an idea of where to plug this in and be able to really connect and communicate.
Yep. And so this is for those just joining us, this is the Aware News Network. This is where we ask why and we require everyone. So we want to have conversations about workforce development, juvenile justice, child welfare, but not just talk about problems. We want to raise awareness about what these systems mean, how they help in the areas you're in, and then talk solutions. We are tired of just hearing problems. Hope and I have been working in these fields for a long, long time. We've done some really great things. And now we want to be able to use this live stream to elevate that and bring everyone together to impact change, especially change as it relates to helping others. Normally, we do this on Friday. But as I mentioned, I'm in Lexington, Kentucky, over here at the Campbell Historic Hotel. And it truly is historic, Hope. As you can see, I have a horse behind me. It doesn't get much more historic than that. And the other reason, Hope, that we are doing this on a Wednesday instead of a Friday is you have some stuff going on this Friday, correct?
Absolutely. Yes. I am actually going to be traveling to Ocala, and I have been invited to the Lowell Women's Prison. And what they have going on out there is they have a re-entry program. And they've been working with the women out there to get ready to come back into society. So they have a graduation ceremony. And I've been asked to come and share my story and give some words of encouragement as their keynote. So I'm really excited. But when I go behind those barbed wires, I won't have access to a phone, internet, computer. So we had to make this happen before. I can share information afterwards about how it goes, but while I'm in there, I can't have access. So we had to switch some things around.
So we're adapting, Hope. We made a decision that, even when life gets in the way, that thing that gets in the way shouldn't be justification to stop doing the thing you believe in. You just need to be adaptable and figure out how to make it happen. So that's why we are here. I'm in Lexington. Friday, Hope is at the prison. So let's talk now. And because we're making some things happen today, I'm over here in Kentucky helping people who help people, and Hope is going to be doing the same Friday. We thought for this quick episode for you tonight, let's talk strictly solutions. Let's talk resources. If you're someone new to the field, we're going to give some tips based on our experience on how you can reach out to local resources and find solutions. If you're someone that needs help yourself, we want to have some conversations about that as well. So we'll go through workforce development, juvenile justice, and child welfare in those areas and talk some solutions. While we're having these conversations, go in the comment section and let us know if you have any questions. Let us know where you're from. If you have some resources that can be shared, even if people aren't watching it in real time, they watch this thing later, and you can put a resource in here that could potentially help someone that they can reach out to. So do not be scared to do that. So let's start off, Hope. I want to start with workforce development because you said that you have a success story, I believe, or an example of the workforce side of someone coming back to the community and able to tap into some resources and help and turn things around fairly quickly. You want to talk to us a little bit about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So this is it's a passion of mine, Curtis. And I know that what you and I do, some of the clients that we serve the most are workforce organizations. So we know the great work that they do. We know who they are, where they are, what they're doing, and the reach that they're having. And I think sometimes when we know something, we think everybody knows it. But the truth is, not everybody knows the resources that are available to them right in their own community. And I don't know how many are on Facebook, but every single day, if I go on Facebook, I always see a post in Marketplace or on somebody's post. Hey, I'm looking for a job. I've applied everywhere. I haven't heard anything. I've tried everything. I don't know what to do. And so I started asking, have you gone to your local career source or workforce? And they might be called different things in different areas. But every single time I ask that question, the response is no, I didn't know we had anything like that. So what I have been doing with these complete strangers is connecting them with career sources and workforce agencies in their area to help them know how to find those resources. So that's the first thing that comes to mind, is that there are a lot of people who want to develop career skills, go into a trade, go into a new career, or just get their first job or just get a new job, and they don't know where to look. But on the really awesome side of that, probably I would say 7 or 8 years ago, I personally, and you as well, had the opportunity to work with a young man who was in our care in workforce readiness. And back then we gave him all the skills that he needed. It's been a long time since we've worked with him. He ended up getting in trouble, going to prison for a few years. He got out and he sent me a message saying, hey, Miss Hope, I just wanted to let you know I'm out. Thank you for everything you've done to help me. I've been out for less than a week, and I was able to use the skills that you guys taught me to get a job. And I'm making about $28 an hour. And I just thought, this young man, I haven't worked with him in a long time, but because those skills were delivered to him, he knew where to go when he needed them. And so that's really important. Half of the battle, most of the time, is just knowing where to go when you need help. There are resources. In fact, CareerSource has over 100 sites throughout the state of Florida alone. So over 100 physical locations to go if you are looking for a job, if you are looking for a career. Each site's a little different. Some offer different services, but it is a really great place to start if you are in the market for a job or career, or you want to be trained in a trade, because some of them have trade programs as well. So I wanted to share that because I just think sometimes we hit these barriers, we hit these walls. We really want to grow and do something, and we just don't know where to go. So I would say wherever you are, and even if you're not in the state of Florida, and go ahead and try to find your local career sources, your local workforce agencies. They are out there. So I just wanted to share that, Curtis. I thought it was encouraging, and I thought it was important for people to know.
Yeah, for sure. And I think your point is true that a lot of people don't know how many resources are available to them. And some of them, if you're in some rural areas, there's some opportunities there on the virtual side to connect and get trained. So the easiest way to do this is if you just Google local workforce board, or like right now I'm in Lexington, Kentucky. If you said workforce board in Lexington, Kentucky, or near Lexington, Kentucky, they'll tell you what type of services they're offering specifically to workforce development. And there are a lot. Now in Florida, Career Source is our lead here, and they offer training dollars. So if you want to get credentialed, they offer employment readiness. They offer assistant with job placement, resume building, essentially all the steps that lead up to getting that job, the steps that help you keep that job, and then the steps to help you move up in that job. There are resources there, and these are all free to the participant or the consumer or the customer. So really, you don't have to go about it on your own. Like, there really is no reason to go about it on your own, quite frankly. And I've learned, Hope, and I don't know your thoughts on this, but some of the most impactful decisions that are made for you professionally stem from a connection you had or a positive impression you made on somebody else. It's because you had someone in your corner. This idea that you can do it all on your own, or this most successful people get there all by themselves. No one succeeds on an island. You might get some success there, but eventually to elevate that, it's good to have somebody in your corner, and it's especially somebody who's educated in what it would take to get to that next level. So I say all that to say is lean on your workforce board, lean on these dollars that are being allocated to this on the state side and the federal side, and take advantage of these trainings that are available. The workforce is changing, and a lot of these career programs are changing with it, and you want to be on the front line of it to get involved and get trained and get credentialed. So yeah, Hope, I'm glad that he had the opportunity to do that. Where did you say he ended up working? What type of job did he get?
It is a construction job. So it was something that he was able to find that would train him. So not only is he getting paid a really great wage to start, he's getting trained in the field. So he didn't need any previous experience. He just went in and they were looking for somebody willing to start out, willing to learn how to do the trade, and willing to show up and do the job. So I thought that was really important. I thought it was a really great sign that if people know the resources, then they know where to go when it's needed. And I will just say he has posted several additional posts showing that he's out on the work site. He's working. It's hot, but he is excited about the hard work and having the opportunity to change his life with that work. So that touches my heart. It's really, really inspiring. It's important that for people to know that jobs, careers, they're opportunities. It's more than a paycheck. For many people, it's life-saving. It's life-changing. It's opportunity to go in a whole different direction in life. And that's why our career sources and our workforce agencies are important, because they really are changing lives. They're giving opportunities where there may not have been opportunity. And a lot of them, I think you said a lot of them have, not only is it free to the client coming in, but some opportunities are paid training opportunities. So you don't only get the opportunity to learn something new, some of them you get the opportunity to get paid while you learn. So that's something, if you are out there and you yourself or somebody you know is looking for something, go ahead and look for your local career source workforce agency, because just in the state of Florida, there's over 100 sites available.
Absolutely. I'm just doing a quick search now and literally just typing in job assistance near me or workforce boards near me. There's just a whole host of services and individuals that could help you. With their main goal is they succeed and they get funding when you succeed in your career pathways. So it's a win-win situation for everybody. They are incentivized to get you a job, train you up, and get you high-paying jobs. Now, obviously, when you're also incentivized to doing that for your own reasons and for yourself, it can't just be, hey, give me this. But both of you can work in a collaborative relationship to help each other and, more importantly, plan for your future. And I'm just looking at the Kentucky one right now: unemployment services, veteran services. They have a lot of them have access to education. If you still need help getting your GED. There's such a resource-rich opportunity here, especially in Florida. I can't speak to all the states, that you don't have to go about it on your own. So definitely go to the Department of Labor website, or just Google local workforce boards or job training and assistance for me, and then contact them and find out what their eligibility is. Tell them a little bit about you. They could tell you which services you apply for, what type of funding is available to you, and then start yourself on that career journey. There really is no reason to not take advantage of some of these services. You don't have to go about it on your own. So I like that story, Hope. I hope he continues to progress in his career as well.
Yeah, I'm really proud of him. And to just add a little bit more information, many of these workforce agencies have those special re-entry programs that are working with people who have a criminal background. So they are directly working with employers to get the employers ready and the employees ready for the best situation and the best outcome possible. So if you happen to have a background and you're wanting to change your life, move forward, and get a good job, a good career, there are resources for that. So that's another important element I wanted to mention, that it's not just for the mainstream. It's for those re-entering society.
100%. And I'm actually, let me see if I can put a couple links in the comments here for people before we move on to the next side. So let me first, here's careeronestop.org. This actually is a local directory to find out who is your workforce board or your one-stop center, your workforce centers. If you just type in your zip code there, they'll tell you who you got to reach out to and where you can go. And then obviously, everybody knows what the DOL.
Well, I don't know if everybody does know. I think that's what shocks me, is I was working with just somebody in the community. It was either last week or the week before last. And I was talking about some of these resources and they'd never heard of them. And we're talking about somebody in their 50s that's had jobs. They had never heard of these resources. So, I just think we take it for granted almost, because it's what we do. It's who we communicate. We see it every day. We think people know about these resources. And I also want to add, if you are with a workforce agency and you've been wondering how to get more people in your doors to help, they need to know you're there. So get on your local social media, go to your local organizations, go to your local schools, because people may not know that you exist. My local workforce agency is literally within walking distance of the middle school, the high school, and the college. And nobody knows it's there except for a rare handful of people. So imagine the employers who need employees that are not getting people in the doors if potential employees don't know about you. So let yourself be known. Put yourself out there. Go talk to people. It's important. And then also, Curtis, the career source for Florida is just careersourceflorida.com. Real easy. But even if people can't remember that, if you just look up career source near me, it's going to pop up. Your local is going to pop up.
Yeah, and I just put some links in the description here. Oh, we got the one stop, careeronestop.org. If you type in your zip code, you'll find whatever your workforce centers are in your area. Then obviously DOL.gov. You can find some of the Department of Labor resources, and then USA.gov to find local job training that is available in your area as well. And again, this is all at no cost, much of the time, to the customer, to you, to the participant, especially if you qualify, depending on what the eligibility is. So go beyond just stopping at a McDonald's or wherever just to say, let me do an application. Go reach out to these individuals first. They have some connections and some really high-paying jobs that can help you out and make that happen. No shot at McDonald's or anything. You know what I mean, Hope. That's what I had to do back in the day, you know?
Yeah. No, I understand. I think there's value in both. I am the kind of person who I don't mind going in businesses, but it's hard to go in if you don't know the business exists. So I believe if you have a career source, you need to visit, you need to talk to them, see what they're about, see what they have available. I know at one time my local career source, they were helping put people through CNA school at no cost to the clients. They were helping people become truck drivers at no cost to the clients. So there are some really amazing fields. It just depends on what your local career source does. So I'm all about stopping in your local McDonald's. I'm all about that, but I also think it's important to know what else is out there at your fingertips that you may not know about.
Absolutely. And look who's coming through the chat. What's going on, Dan? Dan, I know for a fact he should be at dinner right now. So I don't know if the individuals that he's at dinner with appreciate him, nodding. Dan, didn't we just do a training about active listening and empathy? There's some people at dinner that don't feel actively heard right now.
Now hold on, Curtis. Dan is actively listening to us. So welcome, Dan. Welcome. I'm glad to have you. So how's it going tonight?
Yeah, Dan's a rock star. He drives all over Kentucky to help people. Yep. Okay. Supervisor, frontline worker. He's doing everything that he can to help job seekers get employed. So he's a rock star for sure.
So there's an example of our workforce in action.
100%. Even though he should be at dinner and enjoying himself, Yay. But again,
if you could hang out with us or be at dinner, I mean, what's the better option?
Says great, all good feedback. Okay. So they just had a little bit of motivational interviewing. So now they're out, on the town testing these MI skills on each other. So hopefully, fingers crossed, that doesn't go sideways. Hope.
Well, we'll know tomorrow.
Okay. Yeah.
For sure. Tomorrow.
Awesome. So that's the workforce side, Hope. Let's transition to juvenile justice, where I believe that's where both of us started, no?
Yeah, actually, I did get I actually got my start in journalism, but when I moved to Arcadia, I got my start in the Department of Juvenile Justice. So that has been about 24 and a half years ago.
I like it. I like it. And just as a reminder for those just logging on, usually we do this Friday at lunch, but I am here in Lexington, Kentucky at the Campbell House Historic Hotel, doing some training with some workforce development professionals, helping them who help others. And then Friday, Hope is also helping people as well. Hope, remind us again what you're doing Friday.
I will be going to prison, Curtis. I will be going Yep, I'm going to be
Matter of
going
time.
beyond the barbed wire at Lowell's Women's Prison, and I will be delivering a keynote to the women there who are ready to re-enter society. They have a re-entry program. So I will be one of the last faces they see before they get to come back into the community and start their lives over. So I'm really excited getting to hang out with the women and hopefully have an impact on them as they come back into their communities and start working toward rebuilding their families and, making gains toward their goals.
Absolutely. I love that. It's all about helping people with second chances, sometimes
Yes.
third chances, but it's
Yes.
in the benefit of everybody that people are working on themselves and contributing to their communities and contributing to the economy. And it's an environment where people are invested in their futures. That's in the best interest of everyone. That's why this stuff is so important, giving those second chances, third chances, whatever it might be. So with that being said, let's talk juvenile justice, Hope. First, let's start with, if you are a parent that maybe has a young person that you're worried they might get involved with some situations that they shouldn't. Based on your experience, Hope, what type of supports are in place? What type of resources are in place to help that parent in that situation?
Well, I know it can be a tough situation because a lot of times as parents, I have seen parents reach out and again, not knowing where the resources are. And then by the time they find a resource, the child is already involved in the justice system. So one really great resource that I love is Teen Court. So I don't know if you know that much about Teen Court. It is part of the diversion program. I don't know what it's called in every state. In Florida, we have Teen Court, and it's a really great program. What it is designed to do is it's designed to catch these young people. Maybe they get into a little bit of trouble, but they are not yet what you would call on papers. They are not yet in the justice system. It is kind of like that, catching them before they go in, with the goal of getting them into the court system, letting them see how it works, letting them have life skills in classes to really do what it's supposed to do, is divert their behaviors away from criminal behaviors back to that pro-social type of behavior. And here in DeSoto, I've had the opportunity now for probably 5 or 6 years to go in and be a guest speaker at Teen Court. And to me, it's a really important program because a lot of these, as young as 11 years old. A lot of these kids are doing what they either see in their community, they see from their older siblings or older kids, or maybe just what they see on TV. They don't quite understand the consequences, but going into the Teen Court area, they get to meet with judges, they get to meet with their peers, they get to meet with a lot of different just individuals in different fields, receive life skills, receive a lot of trainings and opportunities that ideally diverts them from ever getting involved in the justice system. So it's an important area. It's an important element of work in the justice system. So if you have a child that you think is kind of headed in that direction, maybe they have already been involved a little bit, but they're not in the system, connect with your local teen court. See if it's something that your local area can wrap their arms around your child and help them before it becomes something that they can't turn back from.
Absolutely. And some other resources, if you search for your local Boys and Girls Club, there's some good resources there to wrap some positivity around the young people. Your local YMCA, your big brothers, big sisters. If you just Google programs to support youth or programs to support at-risk youth near me, that you should be able to find a couple. And then don't be afraid to call and advocate what your needs are. If you call and you say, hey, here's my situation, do you have something that can assist? And they say, oh, no, I'm sorry, we don't do that here. Say, okay, well, who do you know that does? Or who would you suggest I reach out to next? Don't just end that conversation on that didn't help me. all of these people are connected one way or another. They work with each other, so they should have that information. If that person doesn't know when you call them and they're like, I'm not sure, then say, well, who can I speak to at your location that might be able to give me some insight on that? Or when should I call back so that I can be connected with someone who can help? There are no bad questions. You have to advocate for yourself. Obviously, these resources that you're going to connect with are going to pair you with people who ideally will advocate with you or for you, but you have to advocate for yourself as well, or it's just not going to be sustainable. So reach out to those programs, see how they can help you. Use Google. Google's your friend. On that note, AI is now your friend as well. If you go into ChatGPT and you say, hey, I'm a little concerned with my child. I think they are hanging around maybe with some negative influences. Talk to me about some programs or services near me that can help me get him in some positive resources or some positive activities. ChatGPT will know the answer to that, or they'll at least point you in that direction. So Google, AI, whatever it is, there are resources out there to help you. Just don't think, hey, this is on me to do it by myself. The other thing, and I'll speak specifically to Florida, I am not sure if every state has this, but in Florida, they have a circuit advisory board through the Florida Department of Juvenile Justice. And this is a board of community members and agencies that sit and work for the very programs we're talking about. You got a member of the Boys and Girls Club. You got members on there for diversion programs, prevention programs. You got someone from the school system on there. The whole point of this board is to have a group of people that are leveraging their resources and knowledge and expertise to be able to guide those individuals in the community. So you can try searching your circuit advisory or Department of Juvenile Justice Circuit Advisory Board. I put in the comments the one out of Florida, and there's one in every single circuit. So everywhere across Florida, there's a Circuit Advisory Board that you could tap into some of those resources. But it's very difficult. Hope and I's background can speak to this. The further you get involved in the system or the longer you wait to wrap some services around a young person, the more challenging it can be to walk that back. And I'm not necessarily saying, go back in time, but some of these systems, obviously, once you get in them, it's hard to get out of them. So ideally, you want to try to put some of these services and identify some of these potential risk factors early on. And get these young people into these programs, because again, they are out there for a reason. Hope, I don't know if you have some additional thoughts on that.
Well, I agree with everything you say. And I just want to, if you're out there and you're hearing the word circuit and you don't know what it means, that's okay. Because of Curtis and I's background, we talk a lot in circuits, but really it's areas. So you might say my city or my county. When we talk juvenile justice, it's talked about in circuit areas. So usually a circuit is made up of several counties clumped together. So I'm in DeSoto County. So I believe DeSoto, Manatee, and Sarasota counties are all what you would consider Circuit 12. So when you hear the word circuit, that's what we're talking about. And there are a lot of resources. Again, it's a matter of finding them and trying to wrap the kids into these services as quickly and as early as possible. So those are out there. And, one service, Curtis, I just want to kind of shout out this program. It's not in every area. It's only in DeSoto, but I've had a chance to work with this program. And there may be like spinoffs in other counties, but Links to Success, here they work with middle school, they work with high school, they work with college. We just started last year working with the parents. So it's just about wraparound. They've started a first 1,000 days. So they're working with the early childhood now. So they've got their hands in every single age group in DeSoto County. And it's absolutely amazing. They are a phenomenal program. So if you're in DeSoto County, Links to Success. If you're not in DeSoto County, there might be programs similar to it. And when I say they work with them, life skills, camps throughout the school year, throughout the summer, even parent leadership academies. So something for the parents as well. So try to see if something like that is available in your area. And if you're listening and you have a program or know of a program in your area, put that in the chat, because we want to be able to provide these resources to as many people as possible, because we know how it feels to be trying to make a change and an impact and just not knowing where to turn and where to go. So a resource is only as powerful as its ability to reach the people. So we want to make it reach the people.
Absolutely. And again, advocate for yourself. Ask those questions. Don't take no for an answer. If the person is giving you a no, then say, okay, where can you point me to find this information? These schools have resource centers. Even if you got to reach out to an agency that doesn't necessarily match your need because you can't find that agency, still reach out to the one that doesn't, and then ask them or explain your situation and say, point me to someone who can help, because they know these agencies talk, they communicate, they can point you in that right direction. And anytime you want to reach out to Hope or myself for any questions, we'll try to point you in the right direction as well. Again, do not be afraid of ChatGPT. Do not be afraid of AI, though. Just explain, hey, here's my situation. This is what I need help on. What are your suggestions on potential resources to reach out to? Don't believe what it says completely. You still got to do your own research and look into it, right? But it can, at the very least, point you in that direction. Right. And I don't know about you, Hope, but some of my favorite times professionally is working with at-risk youth and juvenile justice. And look at this. Look who just made an appearance, Hope. Who is that?
Yes. So,
who is that?
Well, so I part of what I do, Curtis, in addition to helping at-risk youth, is I help at-risk cats. And what has happened is, in my neighborhood, we have had some people throw their cats away, and so we've rescued some moms. And so my office has been a nursery, and now these little guys can climb. So I've been able to hide them, but now they climb, and now I can't hide them anymore. So if you're listening and you're looking to adopt, these guys are just about ready to be adopted. And as you can see, they like to be apart. So that was a guest appearance.
Adopt a cat from Hope. Contact Hope at Hope. Well, I don't know your email. What's your email, Hope?
Cultivatinghope@outlook.com. But
Hope.
So if you're looking to rescue a little friend and add to your family, then I can hook you up. We have rescued seven mothers who are scheduled to get spayed in the next 2 weeks. So you've just met their last litter. So
you're just a helper, Hope.
Yes. So it's good to know resources. So if you're out in the market for a fur friend, I can help you out.
I like it. All right, Hope. So workforce development, reach out to your local workforce boards, your one-stop centers, Google, use AI, find what job training options are available to you. There should be some available to you. If you find yourself in an area that there's just nothing there, reach out to us. I'd be interested to learn more about that and maybe find out what's going on there. But there are, I know in Florida's resource rich. There's a lot of opportunities. So
yeah, and I would definitely be interested, because I have heard people say, well, there's nothing here. So if there is nothing truly in your area, maybe it's time for us to do something about that, which is what we talk about, right? Asking questions and requiring everyone. So why is there nothing in this area, and what can we do about that?
Absolutely.
So that's another important element. So, and I love talking about, Curtis, I love talking about workforce. I love talking about opportunities. I love talking about justice impacted people, because there's a lot of potential and a lot of opportunity for people in those areas.
Absolutely. Yeah, I agree. And it's a life-changing experience when somebody gets a job that actually turns into a career.
Yes.
They had the opportunity to support themselves, buy a house, make these big purchases, invest in their retirement. Like all these things help everybody. It's not just a, here's a handout situation. That's not the case. We're trying to help everyone, so that contributes to that bigger picture. So workforce development, it's much needed. And then we talked about juvenile justice hope. It's all about helping some of those at-risk young people. We talked a lot about on the front end, getting involved, reaching out to your local youth agencies. We named a couple, your YMCAs, your big brother, your big sisters, your Boys and Girls Club, and then also your Department of Juvenile Justice that's in your state. Find out if they have a circuit advisory board, a group of members in the community that come together that work in these agencies and these resources that could help, and then contact them. You can even attend these meetings yourself. Most of these meetings should be public meetings. You can learn what's going on there and then find out what those resources are. And so our final section as part of Aware Hope before we wrap up for tonight is child welfare. And I think you told me this, Hope, correct me if I'm wrong, but you yourself were adopted, correct?
Yes. So my biological mother actually had me in prison. And of course, I immediately went into the foster system. So I ended up being adopted. And my whole story, I don't have time to tell it, but my whole story is actually in my book, Beyond the Barbed Wire. So if you're interested, then there it is. But yes, so I was adopted. So I am very passionate about the child welfare system and the work that is done. I know there is a lot of work to be done. It's a massive system, Curtis. There's so many corners and nooks and crannies to the system, but so many children that need help. And that's what I keep seeing day in and day out is just thousands of children that need help. In fact, I saw a post today where there's one county in Florida that only has 10 foster homes in the entire county. And the county is not a small county. I guess it's small compared to maybe Miami, but it's still a pretty large county. So only 10 foster homes within that county. And I can't remember which county it was. I'd have to find that, but it stood out to me to see that there is an area where there may be hundreds of children that need placement, but only 10 homes that are opening their homes to the children that need placement.
Yeah. Hope, obviously, you know how this is a topic that's really personal to you as someone who was adopted. And obviously, this is a topic that's really important to me as a father of two adopted children. So the first thing is kind of leaning on what Hope was talking about is there is a tremendous need for foster families. So one of the easiest ways to address that is, again, your Google or your AI friend and find out or search, I want to become a foster parent, or how do I become a foster parent in my state? That's one option for you. Then you can also go in Florida. There's the Department of Children and Families. I know each state, it differs a little bit on what the name of it is, but whatever the state agency is that handles youth in foster care, you can go directly to that site and then find out which other, what parts of that process are contracted out throughout your state. And then usually there's agencies that oversee various counties or areas of that state. So just for a little quick on that, usually there's an adoption agency that oversees the adoption process of a child. So if you're interested in adoption, you would reach directly out to that agency. And then usually, and I'm speaking just from Florida, this definitely varies from state to state, but then you have your foster care agencies who train and recruit foster parents. So if you're interested in becoming a foster parent, you just search who trains and licensed foster parents in my area. That's one way you can find it, or again, go directly through your state site. And then you have other resources in that process, such as the guardian ad litem, who advocates for the child. I believe it's called CASA in some other states, or CASA in some other states. But then there's the people that advocate and are like a neutral voice for the child. in Florida, the guardian ad litem is some of the most incredible people I have ever met, and they work really hard to make informed judgments and advocate for the kids. So a couple things. First is if you go to adoptuskids.com, and let me actually put that information in the comments as well. Educate yourself first before you get involved in one of those two areas. I'm on a couple different foster care groups, and you'll see someone say, hey, I went online and I saw a kid that kind of piqued our interest. It's good to have the heart and the interest and the desire to potentially get involved in that area, but try before jumping into it to invest as much as you can into asking questions and educating yourself on the different moving parts in your state, or the different moving parts that have to do with what it means to be a foster parent versus what it means to be an adoptive parent. I'm not intentionally trying to plug this book, but I did write a book. I hope it's on Amazon, a roadmap to communicating with the child welfare system. But as much education you can do on the front end to find out what makes the most sense for you, what's best for you and your family, that not only is important just because having education and awareness is good, but then that allows you, when you call these individuals or these agencies, whoever has the contracts in your area, to ask the right questions and know what kind of resources are available to you, know what the process looks like. I think because sometimes they get so many calls every single day and they get so many people who are interested but then back out, don't expect them to necessarily be over the top trying to sell you of why you should get involved. You need to know what your why is and your reasons and what your capabilities are and what makes the most sense when you're doing this. So this is, again, all about advocating on the front end, asking those questions, finding out all the different agencies, the resources that are available in your area, and then getting involved. But if you do have an interest in being a foster parent, and that's something that you think your family and your current lifestyle can support, definitely search how to become a foster parent near me and start taking those steps. Just remember, foster parent, the primary goal in most states, I know how it is in Florida, is reunification. You're providing temporary stability for a child with the goal of that child being reunited once it's a safe place to do that. Now, some states might have something like foster to adopt. That's not what it is in Florida, but that is a possibility in other states. And then if you're going into the adoption process, you say you want to adopt, these are children that have rights have been terminated and are right now in need of forever home. In both of these areas, there's a lot of training, a lot of requirements and eligibility that you need to go through. Ask what those are, ask what that looks like. Ask if there are additional supports outside of that initial training that you can have. And just, if you're getting a theme here, hope ask as many questions as you can.
Yeah.
But I think the child welfare system, the Florida, the foster system in general across the country, it's one of the more perplexing systems we have, that I can't completely understand why it's underfunded, in my perspective. And it's completely my perspective, but I think it's a system that we should be investing as much as we can, pouring tons of dollars and resources into this, because you have children that they either need the support to get back to their family, or they need a forever home in a different space. And we should be doing everything we can to make that happen. So if you do have any interest in getting involved, or that kind of piques your interest, do some research, ask some questions, and find out how you can best get involved. And maybe you don't want to foster, or maybe you don't want to adopt, but maybe you can be a mentor for a kid. Maybe you can volunteer or help support local fundraising activities that are going on. There's something you can be doing to help children in the child welfare system. So I definitely encourage you to do that.
Yeah, and Curtis, I think what you're saying makes so much sense, to ask questions, and not, as you're doing the research, to ask yourself questions. What is my it's important to know exactly where you stand. It's important to know when you're talking to these agencies to get as much information as possible. And not everybody can be a foster home or an adoptive home, but there, like you said, Curtis, there are ways to get involved. There are just so many ways. Some of these foster homes, they get a call at the last minute that there are children that need placement immediately, and they don't have the supplies. So even as much as, maybe there's blankets, maybe there's clothes, maybe there's bedding or something like that. So there is a way for every single person to get involved, be it on the adoptive end, the foster end, the donation, the fund development end, the volunteer mentor end, even becoming a guardian ad litem. So I know in my town, they are constantly looking for people who just have a few hours a month that they can dedicate to go into the homes that are being fostered, check in on the children and the foster parents, make sure they're okay. So there's really a lot of ways to get involved, and it is very rewarding to pour yourself into another life. It truly is. And Curtis, you are an example of pouring yourself into 2 lives, and I'm an example of people who poured themselves into me when they didn't have to. So it's an investment, and it's a worthwhile investment. And it's something that I think is just really amazing. And I don't care who you are or where you're from, there's a way to pour a little bit of yourself into that situation somehow. Even just sharing a post on social media, that helps. So yeah, very passionate. I think we could talk for a long time about this.
I agree, Hope. Yeah, I mean, get involved. And there's so many, like you said, small ways. And if you're not going to get involved and you're not going to help with any solutions, just don't talk about it then. We don't want to hear you complain about it. I say that respectfully. It's just what it is. No time for your negativity if you're not going to talk about some potential solutions and help others. My bad if that's insensitive.
Well, I don't think it's insensitive. I think it's a matter of, why are you talking, right? Are you talking to spread awareness? Are you talking to find a solution? What is your why? It's going back to asking questions.
Are you talking for those clicks?
or that, yes, as an influencer, why are you talking? What's going on? And if you're investing a lot of time talking and it's not leading to a solution, then maybe ask yourself, what could I do differently to invest my time and my talent in what I'm doing that's going to lead to some better outcomes and solutions? Because really, if we're not working towards solutions, we're just treading water. And treading water gets you nowhere. You stay in the same place or you sink. There's really nothing more than to it when you're treading water. There are lives on the line. And every topic that we've talked about today, there are lives that are on the line. They are in critical moments in time, and they need you. They need you to be the solution and not part of the problem.
Well said, Hope. Yeah, I mean, sometimes we have inaction because we are like, well, what am I going to do? The system is broken or the system is too burdened. Your goal is not to solve the problem. It would be nice, though, if you help somebody who's experiencing the problem. And you can do that with just one person, and something as small as just a share of a post, following some of these agencies or these programs that have been created to help others. Follow them on social media, extend your support that way. If not, then, I already said what I was going to say, so let me not say it again. I don't want to go the other way, Hope. But we have reached our end here, Hope. I'm looking at 53 minutes live.
Yes. We do have one special announcement.
Oh, we do?
Yes. Next week's special show.
Oh, yep. Talk to me, Hope.
So we have talked about juvenile justice, and we have talked about impacting lives. And there is a program here in the state of Florida that has impacted definitely, I was going to say hundreds, but I would say thousands of lives since the year 2013. And that is Eckerd Connects Project Bridge. They are coming to the contract as it is coming to a close. They are transitioning into something new. So what we're going to do is we're going to go a little bit back in time. I know, Curtis, I think you and I started close to around the same time.
Yep.
So I was there. I was hired at the kickoff of Circuit 12. I believe you were Circuit 10. Were you Circuit 10?
9 over in Orlando.
Circuit 9. So you kicked off Circuit 9, which is the Orlando area. There is not a program in existence and a group of people in existence that are closer to my heart than the team with Project Bridge. And then some of the clients that have been served over the years, I keep up with them. And so we are going to dive a little bit and just pay a special tribute to the staff who poured their love and their passion and their talents into changing and saving lives. So we would love, if you've been a part of Eckerd Connects Project Bridge as a client, as an employee, if you've been impacted in a positive way, we want to hear from you. So that is next week. That's what we're doing next week. I'm very excited. It's an amazing program with amazing people. So we're going to just travel down memory lane a little bit. And you might get to see some pictures of Curtis and I dressed up from the, I don't know what that was, 50s, 60s, 20s. I don't know what that was.
Speakeasy days.
The speakeasy days. We got creative. We've talked a lot about solutions, and that's one of the things that I believe that both Curtis and I specialize in is taking situations that look hopeless, that look impossible, finding creative outlets to make the impossible not just happen, but thrive. So I think that's why Project Bridge also has a special place in my heart, because it gave us an outlet to use that creativity and to grow. I would say, Curtis, my career, my personal and professional development really thrived under Project Bridge.
And I don't know, Hope, do our Project Bridge people know we're doing this?
I don't think they know. So maybe they're hearing it. Maybe we should send a few texts and a few emails. But if you are scrolling either on LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, or X, whatever it's called now, Curtis is laughing at me because that's the one I don't hang out on. Then we want to hear from you. We would love for you to be a part if you can. And it's next Friday. Is it the same time?
Stay tuned.
Okay, stay tuned for the time. We will make some announcements. But
we want to get some Project Bridge people on there. So let's make sure that it's at a time that they can get on there.
Yeah, let's do that. And then Curtis, I know I have I don't know how many videos I have, but I know I have a ton of pictures. So maybe we can share some of that as a tribute to one of the most amazing programs and the most amazing group of, I say family. They really are. I grew family. In fact, that is where I met you. So the best friendships, the best family was really birthed there in Project Bridge.
I agree, Hope. We got a lot of stories.
So many.
So we're going to share the ones that we can share on a live stream. We will. The others we'll laugh online.
Yeah, we will over coffee and tea, but not on live stream. So.
All right, Hope. Well, I appreciate you jumping on this Wednesday one with me. It was not the norm, but I think we made it happen. I was a little worried about the internet connection in the historic hotel, but they did a good job of keeping me connected. Any final thoughts from you, Hope?
I'm just I'm thankful that there is a community that we are in, that there are people. Sometimes it looks like there's nobody wanting to help, but we really are in a community of people that want to help. So if you're listening, then that's you. So let's be a part of the solution together. Let's be a part of asking questions. Let's be a part of the solution. And we want to hear from you. So Curtis, I'm excited about where this is going. And I'm excited about especially next week's tribute. And I think that's where I want to land for this week.
I like it, Hope. I appreciate you. And I appreciate everyone who watched live and those that are watching a little bit later. Advocate for yourself. Advocate for the resources in your area. ask good questions, and get the support you need. As always, reach out to Hope at Hope Cross or Cultivating Hope on all the social medias. You can do the same thing with me at Speak4mc or at Curtis Camponi. And we will see you next week. I'll see you next week, Hope.
Bye. Have fun in Kentucky.
Thank you. I will. What if we help people who help people? Speak4mc provides training, motivational talks, personal reflections on parenting, resilience, and working through adversity. Welcome to Speak for Maggie's Change. Hit that subscribe button.